We start now to prepare the wood, what comes later here on the batteries, to fix it, to press it, and we have a basement to press all the cells together and put the fuses and all the cables. And we need also some, what is the name, grips to transport the battery, because one of these batteries is about 100 kilogram and you need minimum 2 people to lift it up. So the grips has to be very strong. Five screws each. It's really strong fix it. And the same we have to do on the other side. And here we have also to put the holder for the fuse. The fuse power is depend on the power of the battery. So we have very strong batteries here, very big cells, so we use 150 to 200 amperes, amps, in English is amps. Huh? And we have to fix this, that we can connect it with cables to the plus pole of the battery. Here we make the middle of the wood. Then we put the holder here, and then we make a mark and another mark. Then we put this one here and fix it also with screws, and that's a place for the fuse. To be careful because it's plastic. Then we open this, and here comes later the fuse, what you can change if something happened, too much energy. Then we have to make here also the grips. So I have prepared one what is finished. Also with the copper screws. Here we have now the grips like on the other one. And the copper screws, it's better if you use copper, because it has a better, what is the name, the energy can better flow with copper, because it has a very small resistance. And now we have to make the connection. This is a connection for here. It goes through then to the battery in this hole. This is like finish, and now we have to make this connection with these ends. For that I need, you have to prepare that pieces, because normally they deliver it like that, and you cannot really put the cable inside, so I have to prepare it a little bit and open it with a big drill. Then you have not so big problems to put the cable in. That's enough. We need 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4 on the battery. The thickness of the cable is also depend on the power of the battery. We built here a battery that have between 150 and 200 amps. So here we measure the length of these end pieces. They are also copper. That's the maximum length. And we cut this off. there's a protection paper. We have also to cut this away. Now we got it. Then now this is the reason we prepared this before. If you don't do that, you have all the time small pieces like that, they go out. 1 or 2 is not a problem, but if you don't do that before, then you have 6, 7, 10 or 20, and then you have not longer the 35 squares. This is a very strong machine. And now we have a good connection. So now we have to measure how much we need. That has to be very exact, because if not, then you have problems to put it on together. So we fix this first. Then we put here one inside, like a dummy. So and then we measure correctly what we need for length. It will go until here, and we go a little bit inside that we have space to move. So we go on this point. That is not too long. If it's too long, then it's really bad. If it's too short, it's not a problem. You can move a bit. This is now the mark. And I use always copper. They come with messing, but I use always copper because of a good connection. So now we can cut this with a special tool. Here's our mark. Then we go with a special tool on it. And with this tool you can cut very big cables. And it gives a really clean cut. And now we measure again for the next one. Like that. Here's the mark. That is like a small bridge for the plus pole. Again, the paper. Protection paper. So, this is sometimes a little bit tricky. You have to get all inside. Yeah, and again only one, that's good. This has to get off. So now we need the same direction, and we test it now how it fits. This is a little bit too short, this is not a problem. Then we can go a little bit out, and then it fits. But now I have a measurement, I know, okay, I have to go here a little bit out, and then we can put it like that together. Again, with a strong machine. Now we have a look again. It fits perfectly. We put this over, one here, one there. You need the right size for it. Like that. So that's perfect now. It looks like from a shop. And now we have to fix this directly, because we never open this again. This is now forever. And this I fix the ground completely strong. It will never open. And this I have to do the same now. And here with the deliberate nuts. For that we need a different kind of case. And we have to hold this that it don't move. But this has to be very, very strong. If not, it can come a flash from the energy. And here it's the same. Very strong. We put here a separate fuse to change if this one is damaged. So I give every customer 2 fuses, because this will melt if you use more than 150 amp. This is about 7500 watt in normal AC energy. Now this is finished. This comes then on this side, and now we have to make the cable that reach the first cell, the first plus cell. So, but that we cannot prepare completely because we have to go through the hole. Now we need the right length that we can put this correctly on the fuse holder. Okay, now we got it. Again, this one and this one and the key. That's enough. Okay. So now we can fix this here with the last one. And if you have something what is here too much, for that we have a small machine. That we can cut it. So now we need the correct direction of this ring end, and that will be this direction because we go in the circle and go then on the cell. So this is 90 degrees different than this, so we can use it like that and press this also. So that's a kind of shipping, how they come from China. You have to look for a good quality. We have here the best quality ever what you can get in the world, and that means one cell has about 330 amp hours, and that means with 16 of these cells we can build a 48 volt battery with 17.5 kilowatt. And that's a lot. That are the sheets, the epoxy sheets, they come between the cells, that they are protected. Nothing come between. If you have a metal here and the metal on the next cell, then you will get the short circuit because this is aluminum frame. It's only protected with this small plastic. So we use one of that to put it in between, that nothing can happen if you press all together. And here they are inside. Every cell has a label and has a code. A QR code where you can see when it's produced, how much was the result of measuring the ampere hours, and who was a producer. One of these pieces is like 6 kilogram. That's the reason we come with altogether 16 to 100 kilogram. This is the opening for explosion secure, that the cell goes not like a ball that goes off and then nothing happen. This is a LiFePO 4 battery, not a lithium ion. This is LiFePO 4. This is, for me, the better quality. We prepare every raw with a sheet. Now we have to look how many space we have in front. That looks very good. A little bit can be over. Then we look in the back. Here it's a little bit more. I have all the time a little bit more space. I don't want it here. This is not nice. This is better. Okay, this is working. All out together. Bus bars are like a cable, but easier to produce. They are also copper. It's only with nickel over, and that connect all the cells together. So we have here always minus, plus, minus, plus, minus, plus, minus, plus. So we make a raw And then we come from 3.3 volt, has one battery, multiplied with 16, we will get 48 volts. And the most of the cells have the same voltage. They are very good quality. 3295, 3292, 3294. They are only 1 or 2 millivolt differentiated, so this is nothing. This is a very good 3295. So they are all very nice. The bus bars. This is a special production. They have all M8. So these are our entry, plus and minus. This is our battery connection. So we have to connect all these cells in a row. We go like a snake. And be careful, if you make that now, then it gives a big flash and all is over. I put for demonstration, I put for some kids a small cable, it was away.
Wow.
Yeah, they are very strong. One of the cells, I think it's written here, has 1050 or 1080 watt. I think it's written here very small. So then we go here over with another bridge. This is a special production. Now we make the bridge to the other line. And then we go back in a snake row. You have to be careful that you don't make a mistake here. But it's like mirroring. And the last one. This is a special kind of screw. The name is Sperrverzahn-Flanschmutter in German. I don't know the name in English. So we fix now only the minus poles, because on the plus poles we will put the connection for the BMS. The BMS is that here. This is a very good kind of BMS. It has a balancer inside and it works until 150 amps. That's like 7,500 watts, what you can use in your house. And that's normally enough. So the plus poles we leave open, and that we have later to fix very strong. I make a special tool for it, that one, and I have isolated it, because if this falling down and make a connection, then you have the same problem. No? But this can fall down, it's completely protected, and with that one you can make a really strong connection. It has to be fixed before. The important thing is that you first press all the cells together and then fix the screws, not before. Because if you fix now all the screws and you press them together, then you bring a lot of tension to the bolts. So we have all minus together. Now we have to close the middle one, what we put here inside, with the protection. Because inside the cells can grow a small induction energy. So one time I got this on my body, and from this time I protect this one inside that cannot flow energy inside. So then we put first, we have a nut here. We put it first here. This in the middle. And the best end, the better end, what we don't cut it, in the front. All sides maybe 2 centimeters. Then we put it down with a bit pressure. And we go completely until the wood, what I have here. Now here's the wood, that is the border for the iron. First we put this inside. Make this completely to the end. That looks better. And if it's there a little bit longer, not a problem. But here it has to be on the end. So before we now give power on the pressure, we have to check that all the batteries are in the middle, because sometimes they go out and they have not the right position, but now they're all together. So now we can give pressure, because after that nothing moves anymore. This is a K17. I use this here for hold and this for give pressure. There's a lot of space, because if you don't do that, it's possible after charging or during the charging a cell get a belly on both sides. I have somewhere example. It looks very bad and you cannot use the chassis anymore. Okay, this is for now fixed. Now we take the other ones. Always the good end in front. Looks better. The manufacturers, they say, I think 300 Newton meter power to press them together. But I make it like my feeling. You have to look that all is down. Sometimes it goes up a bit. It's all down. Then we see here the ends. Are they similar? No, we are too much on this side. A little bit. That's good. And that's good. Okay. Okay, now we prepare the connections for the BMS. We have 16 cells, so we need 16 connections and a separate minus and a separate plus. So we have 18 connections to fit here in there. And this is a BMS. You can connect until 24 cells, so then have you 96 volt or 72, but we need only 48. So we can cut here. We need cell number 15 and 16 here, the first two cables, and we need the main plus. So we can put this by side and the first by side, and the rest we can cut away, because it disturbs, it looks not good, we don't need it on the battery. To be very careful that we don't cut the wrong cables. Now we have what we need. And now we have to connect every end rings of the cables. We need 18. They need size of 8, that they fit here on the big bolts, because I use the big bolts. Normally you have here 6, but 8 is much stronger for more energy. Yeah, and then we start with putting this end pieces on the cables. So here we have to be very careful that we don't go too far and to test contact, but we control this later. That's the first one. Now we have all these ring ends on the cables for the BMS, for all the plus poles of the cells. And now we have to check that we have connection. It's also very important. If you don't do that and one of the cable have no connection, your completely battery will not work. So we have to check if all it's working. If you have connections, so we start with that ones. Here the first. That's important that we have here, oh, my glass, that we have here good connection, and all informations goes to the BMS. Also that, and also here. That's good, and we make the same with this one now. So now we have all checked, all have connections. We got a lot of signals. And now we connect the cables to the BMS. So now we start with the first minus on the first cell. That's a raw. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16. That is a raw. And we start on the first with a minus. There comes later the BMS. But for now we want only put the cables in a very good order, that it looks good, that we have space enough. And then every cell is measuring on the plus code. So we have the informations of every cell in our app. If you watch in the BMS, we can see how many volt, how many is the difference, how many watt or amperes go inside if I charge. And this is very important also for the balancing, because we need a good balanced battery, that all cells coming to the high point in the same time. Because if one cell comes earlier on the top and reach maybe to the 3.6 volts and the other one are on 3.4, then the battery is not full. That's the reason we need the overview. What's happened here inside all the time. You have to be very careful that we don't make a mistake. This is number 4 and we need cell number 4. Then this one also and this one also with a little bit of space, like that. Then we have to come from the other side. The first one is here. We put all in the same direction like the battery is. We have here 3, 4. A little bit with space for every cell. Like that. Then we can put them here together. Yo. So then we make the other side. And now we have a good sorted cables in the battery. This is finished, yeah, but this we have to leave open. And we start on the first cell. We have to hold this, that it don't move, and we need really power. Because if one of these connections is not strong, they give a wrong signal to the BMS. I had this sometimes, that one of the connection was not really strong on, and it goes up, down, and I never know, in the first moment I don't know what is the problem. And then I try to fix the screw, and there was a lot of screwing space still. And that was the reason. So this has to be very, very strong. So that's all, and you will feel that because it's hard work, but you have to control again, all again. Sometimes you forget one. Now we connect the BMS, and here also you have to be very careful. We have two positions. This is to the pole, this is to the battery. Okay, so secure these cables, and this we put by side. Here can nothing happen. If they don't come here back to the battery, it can nothing happen. But this too, you have always to have it in your hand. And then put the first. Be sure it's inside and cannot go out. And then put the second. Okay, now we have this secure. Then comes the pole for the measuring BMS. The big cables are only for the energy. We put this in the middle. And now it's secure. Now can nothing happen. This is the best moment. That's not the best. The best moment will come later, soon. But this is now no dangerous more. No danger more. We have to make the right position for the other poles. That will be the minus pole here. And I use always copper. It's very expensive, but it makes the best connection. So now we have to bring this. I think this was always here under. And goes then here, and this comes like that. So this can stay here, this can stay here. Then we have here a big washer that looks very good. And we fix it here. And I have long screws, because if you want to connect a lot of things, 1, 2 hybrids or 2 batteries in parallel, you have enough space to connect. So we don't have to use this very short. This is mostly 14. And this is maybe 13. So on this we have to make very, very strong, that the head of the screw goes in the wood. Because this is forever. This is very strong. And this is here inside, this is also inside. Here. So now we see where's the end position of the battery, of the BMS. End position is like here. And now we can fix this completely. It's not much, but sometimes you have a difference. The last one has also to be very strong. This was strong. Yeah. Okay. So now comes the connection first of the monitoring. For that we need a special cable. Like that. You need a big storage of things what you need. So this is a monitoring connection for our display to start and switch off the BMS, and with the BMS the whole battery. Then comes the temperature measuring. That are 2 points of temperatures. You measure in the battery and outside. This is this point. And here I put one. Under here. Under here. And between the 2 rows of the cells, that if there is a heat, it gives an alarm inside. And one we put on top, that we can measure the temperature more or less outside. That can be here, only on top, that we have always the temperature here, up and in between. So and now comes the main connection. All the cells will now be connected. That's the first part. That's the second part. Has to be very strong inside. Okay. This is our small monitor. This monitor has a button, and with this button we can switch on and switch off, and we have a good overview over the cells. We will see if we hear the sound. Dip, 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 is all good. If not, we have a problem.
Fingers crossed.
It's working. And we have 52.7 volt. This is the first thing what we have now to control. Now we see here the percentage. It will go to 69 maybe. They are pre-charged about 30%. And the BMS will only guess what is inside. This is the error code because we have not the settings in the BMS that we do now. Now the BMS is blinking. It's working all the time. And the first thing what we check is now the voltage inside. Now, if the battery is not using, the monitor will go off after 20 seconds. And now we measure how many volt we have in real. This is plastic, I can put it here without danger. It's always important that you don't put metal on here. 52.71, oh, 72, okay, and this says 52.7, oh, it looks correct. And now we can check this in the app. These are all the batteries now, and now comes one more, and this is the number. This is no name it. That are the other batteries, they are here around. My solar system, the boat, this one on top, and other things. And this is the new one, what we have here. And then now make a connection noise. And now we see it here, 52.73, that looks good. And now we have to change something. You have to make the settings. For the settings here, we need a password. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And now we have to change first. We have a LiFePO4 battery. LiFePO4, not lithium ion, like in a Tesla. We have a better one. And we have 16 cells. And we have 330 ampere hours. That's very big. That makes the 17.5 kilowatt. The balance inside, we want to have it very, very good. The smallest way is 3 millivolt. Okay, and then we have to make the other settings. We won't go until 365 in the first time for charging. Here we can go to 3.6 in the first charging. Undervolt power is correct. Power off is a little bit low. If we go to 5, and we can charge. Here we can say how much we can charge. It's only a small hybrid, but it's enough if we charge this battery here in the first time with maximum of 60 amps. That is multiplied with 50 volts, 3000 watt. This is normally enough. So, but first, before if I connect it now, it will give a flash.
Right.
So, that's the reason I switch off the battery. Always you can switch it off, then you have no danger. Charge, discharge, off. And nothing can happen. If I don't do it, it makes... And then I have here a black piece. Mm-hmm. And that's not nice. All the disconnections has now to be very good fixed. And later with the customers or with the clients, of course, also. This connection has also to be very good. Now it goes down, and now it don't see a battery. It makes alarm because there's no battery, because I have switched it off.
Yeah.
Now I switch it on, charge and discharge. Now he sees the battery, and now he make the connection for charging. You can see this here. Now we have 0.4 minus. Now it will charge. And my last charging was with 8 amps. It's like 400 watt. No, now you can see on the hybrid it's charged the battery. And we have no connection to energy. We can also switch it on the silver button. And then we have here energy from this battery.
Right.
But now we want first charge on the top, all the cells on the top, because we want a good balance. And here you can see now what are these cells for good quality. You see the difference between the cells here. Cell volt difference is only 2 millivolt. That's nothing. They are all completely together. Now it's only 1 millivolt. They are all together. All have 3304 in average, and this is a good quality from the beginning.
Yeah.
And if I charge now slowly until the top, until the battery is full, that need maybe 10, maybe 12 hours, then you have still this difference until the end. And firstly, if they are shortly before the end, okay, then they go a little bit out and have a bigger distance between the cells. But this is with 57 or 58 volt, not a problem. The battery is full with 55. And if you can go up so high, that's the best for the battery. And then I have to make it down also. If I'm charging this maybe until tomorrow, it's full. Then I discharge the battery completely with 3000 watt until the bottom. And then I will have down around 2.6 volt every cell. Also big differences. But then I leave work the BMS for a night or a day. And the BMS make the balance from alone all to the same level. And then I charge again slowly for the customers. And then the battery is finished. Then you have a good quality battery with a good balanced cells, with a good BMS, what balance also in years your battery. And you have 17 kilowatt.
Which is huge.
Yeah, it's a lot. It's enough for one family. If you be a bit careful, also in winter time, it's enough. And if it's not enough for you because you want to make all electric, then you can put 2 in parallel. Then you have 35 kilowatt. Or 3. It's up to you. Yeah, that's it.
Excellent.
Then we make the cover later. Then it looks a little bit nicer from the top. But if somebody open it, you can see it's a professional work. And then comes the monitor on the top or somewhere where you want it. It's 4-meter cable. You can also put it in another room that you have always the overview. I have to screw from the bottom later both sides that the floor is connected. Yeah, and now needs 2-3 days or 4 with charging, discharging, another charging, balancing on the top, on the bottom, and then the battery is finished for using.
So the next step,
once
once you've gone beyond the charging, decharging and everything, we're into fitting at the customer's house.
Yeah. Put it to the customer's house and connect it with a hybrid there. This is a small hybrid. The most of the people what I know now, they have an 8 kilowatt hybrid. This is a 5 kilowatt or 11 kilowatt or double 2 8 kilowatts. Then they have 16 kilowatt in parallel. That's depend on what the customers want use in the house.
Yeah.
Cooking field with electric, a boiler, air conditions. If you have a lot of machines, you need more energy, especially in winter time.
Yeah.
But that's not a problem. It's all customized by the wishes of the customers.
Yeah. Good. Excellent. Excellent work. Next step will be coming over to Detlev's to fit these. So it's interesting to see how this is all come along. I've learned a lot today. Really good. Really interesting. Thank you, Jens.
Welcome. Okay, then we start now with a power room, with a power station. Here we have inside the 4 batteries for 3 different systems, 2 batteries for the separate rooms, and this is a big system with the big batteries together for one hybrid. He makes 11 kilowatt. And here we have the smaller batteries. They go to the 8 kilowatt hybrid, to each one, and they go to the apartment and to the tiny house. They are not all connected. Only the 2 big ones, they will be in parallel. And with two big ones, we have then 35 kilowatt on one hybrid. And here we have now 10 kilowatt on the other hybrid. We will change that later also to 17. And now we open this one. There the battery connection, minus and plus. Here we have the output for energy, and here we have the input for energy, but we have no input in this case. This is for EDP, so for landline, grid,
Okay.
that it switch over automatically. If the battery is empty and no solar available, then it switch automatically in a millisecond to the grid.
Okay.
And you can also connect here a generator
Oh.
for emergency.
Yeah.
What you have for a source.
Yeah.
Yeah, and here you have the two entry MPPT charger from solar. There are two chargers with each 500 volt DC and maximum 11 kilowatt
Okay.
on power. So you can use here 5.5 and here 5.5. And here you have some connections for charging a phone or connect with another hybrid, make it parallel or control it with a computer. We use the middle, go in the back. I fixed the monitors here to the batteries. They are completely charged, 100%, and this here also 100%. They have the same ampere hour, so it's like the same model, 17.5 together, 35 kilowatt hours energy. And it's very important to have the same. Press one more, then it stays for 20 seconds. And it will also stay if it's used. If the battery is used, you see it direct. If you come in the room, the displays are on, you know we are not on solar, we are on battery.
Yeah.
And you can see here on the left side the using ampere hour, the amperes, nothing. And here you see the volts. And the volts, they are on 54.7 and here on 53.8. And if we put them together, then they try direct to level up.
Yeah.
And if you have different batteries, maybe 80 and 30, then you make a disaster.
Right.
Then this fuse will come direct. Because then in one moment they try to fill up the empty battery with the energy what is here more.
Right.
So you have to be them maximum 5-10% difference if you want to make them parallel. Yeah, these are the nice pieces for here. That looks always better. That is enough for this connection here. We have short ways. This is also very important. That you have not a long way from here to the batteries. If this way is longer, you need a bigger square.
Okay.
But we have here only 50 centimeters, and this you don't lose energy in this way. That's protection for the solar field. The solar panels, they have about 12 amperes, and this is a 16 amp fuse. So that's the right size. And this comes by side. This is a flash protection.
It's a what?
Flash protection.
Flash protection.
Until 40,000 amperes, I think. What it says? No, 60,000. No, 60 kiloamperes. Yeah.
So explain a flash.
A flash. It's a lightning beam from the sky.
Oh, just the lightning bolt.
Yeah, like that.
Yeah, okay.
Or also, if you have too much sun sometimes, a sun corona or something like that,
Yeah.
too much energy goes inside, then they will switch off.
Yeah.
Because then this is sometimes happen, and it has destroyed a lot of solar systems if you have not the right fuses.
Right.
But 4 amps, okay, we will get, but not more. The 16, it will work. And it's a bit small, okay. Now it's in. Good.
Excellent.
This is how I look at later. It's like that. Yeah.
Very nice.
And like that we make it with all the hybrids.
Yeah.
Every hybrid has 2 MPP entries, 2 circles, and so we connect 2 circles with this one. This is then PV1, PV2.
Okay, what we've been doing is running the cables down to each section, and the way this works is this first section will have 9 panels, the inverter, the hybrid, can handle 9 panels. So this green cable connects to these and powers all those. The next 9 come to here, and this cable connects to this one that powers them. Then the next cable, the third cable here, powers this one. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That one's powered from that cable. The other side, there's a cable here. This cable then powers this one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's another hybrid inverter. And then this one here, we take 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And the next one, because the hybrid is capable of more power, can take 11 panels, because that's the one going into the main house. Around that side is a cable. And then we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I hope that's clear. If you're not confused yet, I am. And there's the cable for the M1. So we've got it all in sequence, and now here what we've got to do is put these into a conduit once we're ready to go, and then connect inside the house first.
All connected here with the lightning protection bridge from plus to plus, minus to minus, 2 lines, 2 entries here in the MPPT. And here we have the outgoing piece for the house. The same here on the other hybrids, prepared with the lightning protection here and there. And here we make the same connections.
Right, so we got everything in place for now here, and now we're going down to the solar field.
It's here. Now we will see what we have, and it's correct or not. Oh, we have 415 volt DC, correct. Set it plus and minus, because if we make it incorrect, then we have a minus in front. And then we have to turn the cables, because it has to go in the right way to the hybrid. This is the first row. Now the second one looks also good, 417, a bit more. So we have 830 volts.
Good.
Now he's running only on solar, that's also possible. We have nothing connected. PV1 for 14, PV2 is for 16. And it uses only 70 watt for the machine, because he has not to charge a battery, because they're not connected.
Yeah.
If they would connect it, you will see now here the battery, and then the charging from the battery, and here would become EDP or generator.
Yeah.
This is your using stuff, what you need, what's going out, income, battery, solar. And you will every time see an arrow what you use. It comes from solar, comes here arrow, comes from here, comes here arrow, comes from EDP or generator, comes here arrow. So you can always see where it's it's using. And if you switch it now on, now it's off. It don't give some energy. You can now switch it on here. You have to hold. Now is the light on. And now you see where comes the energy from? From solar. And we have 50 Hertz and 230 volt. Change always the display. Now comes 230 volt and 50 Hertz. Correct. And completely in the Sinus line. That's a really clean energy. Now we will connect these 2 batteries in parallel. We have 17.5 kilowatt. When we put them together in parallel, then we have the same voltage and 35 kilowatt in total. Now the black one. And normally if they are on, it gives here a flash. But all good. There's no flash because they are off. I will it's a good thing that we leave here more space. Minus to minus, plus to plus. Don't make mistakes. If you put minus on plus, then you get instead 48 volt 96. That is too much for the inverter. And you can put batteries like that together, 3 pieces, 4 pieces, 5 pieces. I never tried more than 3, but I think it will work. But they have to level out each other in the first beginning of being parallel. They need a little bit time to leveling themselves with the other one. So now we can connect, but if we connect completely, before we do that, we have to switch off the batteries. We connect now only the black one. There can nothing happen, because this is the same. It can give a small flash. It's better we switch the battery and the hybrid with a button and not with a cable on contacts. It's very important that these connections here are really strong together. I chose copper for the better quality, but this has to be really strong. Okay. So now we can connect and we have no energy on the cable. The red one. This never has to move, always has to be fixed. Now we don't forget this one. Okay, fixed. So if I now switch it on, it will give a short circuit in turn, because he get the first time now energy from batteries, and he has to fill up the condensators, I think, with energy until he can work, because in the first moment he cannot work. So we put again. Now we switch on and you will hear it. That was a reaction. And now we have here error, protection, discharge, short circuit. Now we switch on this battery. Charge and discharge. The next one, I go back, and then we see we have the same protection. Now this is now a mistake. Now we have to wait always 1 minute that it count down, and then maybe can be happen one time more, and then it's working. I think there is not enough energy inside from the battery side. They have to fill up first until they feel okay, now we are connected. And one more. No, this one is on now. And your one? You have to wait 14 seconds more. And we have also to level the voltage, make a calibration. We have to measure 2, 1, online. Okay. Because we have 2 different voltage in the battery, it's only 3 millivolt, but I will check the correct volts in the batteries that we give to the app. Then we have a correct measuring also for the hybrid. So the left one, 53.46, and the right one, 53.46. Okay, they are both the same. So we have here a wrong measuring. 53.46. We can calibrate that here. 53.46, and now we have to do the same here. 53.46. Okay. And now they are the same. Yeah. Now we can switch on the hybrid without solar. It's possible he goes off again because I have normally to hold the button, but we will see. Now it's running direct. Now he will go off again. Now he has a battery here. 53.4. Now he gives the energy. 53.4, what we have measured just now. And now we have to make the settings of this machine. No, you use nothing, 0 watt, because it's not connected. But you have 230 volt and 50 hertz. We have connected now 22 panels on this system with the 2 batteries, so we have 11 kilowatt. This is for the Quinta completely, and we have here 35 kilowatt hours in battery, so we have completely 70 kilowatt hours. That's a lot. And 11 kilowatt hybrid, 2 rows of solar panels and 2 batteries. And now we start only the hybrid with the batteries first, that we see all it's running. So what we do now, we have the batteries are switched off, like with a breaker. There's a digital breaker in the app, and we have 2 batteries, and we go now in the settings from the left one. This is a 17 kilowatt left. We have to start or to open charge and discharge, and we hear a small tick in the hybrid. Then we go to the next one, to the right one, 17 kilowatt right. You hear always the BMS reacting, and here we go in the settings to change the status. Also here charge and discharge on. So now we have a look. Here it's no mistake. We go again in the left. Sometimes there's a short circuit, but now it's all on. Okay, they are now on. So we have energy here on the poles and also energy here inside. Now we can start the hybrid. We have to hold a bit the button that the hybrid starts and produce energy. Now we have here 50 hertz and 0 watt. Here comes the arrow because this is the battery. The arrow shows you where comes the energy from, 230 volt. 0 comes in, 0 for photovoltaic, so no solar at the moment because the 2 strings of solar are off. So now it's working only with a battery. This is now a completely off-grid system without grid. If you have a grid here from somewhere or a generator, then you would see here the incoming volt, hertz, and here you see always what you use, what you have. This is your status. You don't use a volt ampere. You have, there's something on, maybe the fridge. You see here 118 watt. So then we have to look in the settings before we're running. The first thing is SBU, that means solar battery utility. That is a good raw. First solar, then battery, then utility. We don't have utility, but first we want to use solar energy. Then we chose how much ampere will charge this hybrid boost batteries. And we have here 80, we can go high until 150. I will see, it's 150 or 120, I think 190, 120, 30, 40, 50. Yeah, 50 is the end, okay. But we don't need so much because we want be careful with the cells. 80 amps is enough, that means 40 amps for each battery. Multiplied with the volts, you have 2000 watt in each battery. So in 6-7 hours, if the battery is empty, the battery are full again with this power. This is enough. We don't have to overcharge and strapazieren die Batterie, what is the name? Stress the batteries. Because if you stress the batteries, you have not a long life, then you have a short life battery. So this was the charging. Now we go through. This is used batteries. This is important because you have also defined battery what you can choose here, but we have used manually batteries. This is enabled, 50 Hertz, 230 volts. Utility charge we don't want. 46 is also for utility, to go back to utility, we don't want to grid. 54, the battery comes back if the battery is off. That is charging utility also, the beep is off and the light is on, A is on, bypass is disabled, we don't have. And important here is a cut-off voltage. 55.2 is for these batteries enough. 55.2 means about 3.45 volt for each cell. Maximum charge, this is 100%, we don't need more. And the hybrid has to stop the charging, not the BMS. And with 55 we are on a good position. This is cut off, and then we use, we want also look the cut off discharging. 55.2 is the maximum. 54 is a float modus, that is you hold the 54 volts. It's a single mode. And here 45 is cut off. On 45 if the battery goes so empty, we have no solar, somebody is using the battery with something, a pool pump or a filter or something, then we reach this point 45 volts in the battery, then the hybrid switch off and don't use more, so you don't damage the batteries. That's a very important point. Okay, more we don't have to do here. Now we are back, and yeah, here we will see always how down you can go, and if you be charging now the batteries, then you will see how high you can go. Now we can start the solar. Now we use the first string of solar, then you will see here the P41 with 412 volt. Now it starts charging, and now you see here the highest point of charging, 55.2. It's charged with 18 amps, 21, it goes higher. For that is normally one string enough. Now the sun is shining, 1600 watt now, 32 amps, 35 amps. It will not charge maximum because the battery is not empty, it's full, but it goes higher. You see always here the amps. Now we are on 50 amps, and here 3000 watt for boost batteries. You can see that also in the displays here. You see here 15 amps comes in, and now we reach a high point, 16 amps, and then we look on the other display. Here comes in 21 now, here also 21 now. So we have now 54 volts, so it goes more, maybe 5 minutes, and then the battery is anyway full, and then it stops charging. Well, it makes some noises, so it's not a sleeping room here. And also heat comes, here goes the air in, here comes the hot air out. Oh, but this is very good running, and now we could charge, connect some machines on to test how this machine is working, and it will working very good. Maybe we make a water cooker or something, and then we can see what has happened here. Now we can see all the energy is coming from the solar. This arrow shows you P42 we don't have. Now we switch on the P42 that we see it's all working. P41 has 344. P42 has 400 volt now. Now we have 2 kilowatts using 1.9 with the water cooker, and all is using from solar. The battery is not using. The battery is charging still with 60.62 amps. Now goes some amps also in the using. That's the reason we don't have here 80 amps. No? Normally we set 80 amps, but we use now 2000 watt. That's about 40 amps for the water cooker. So that's like 100 amp completely, or 110 now. And now we reach the point to hear it on the noise. 55.2, we got, the battery is completely full. The hybrid goes down with charging. We go down now to 30. Only a little bit charging, 29. We have still 2000 watt using. Yeah, all running good, all is working good.
So the kettle, the water heater, or what did you call it?
Yeah, water heater. Kettle, yeah.
The water cooker is a kettle.
Yeah.
That is taking it from
Solar,
not the batteries.
yeah. Because solar is enough now.
Yeah.
If we would switch this off, then it comes here the arrow and it goes from the battery.
Right.
Yeah, we can change, we can test that. Solar off, direct the arrow comes here.
Okay.
And now goes all from the battery.
Yeah, as far as I understand, it's the line of priority that is set it in. If there's solar, take solar. No solar, go to battery. No battery, go to
Utility.
utility. When
If
we
you have.
switch off utility, so during the day when sun is, the inverter will take first from the sun. If a cloud is coming, he will then mix in the battery.
Safety.
Safety.
Is this safe to touch, or is there any problems here?
I don't see problems because we have here DC.
Yeah.
There's a big difference to AC. AC can be different, can be dangerous, and also in lower voltage by 100 volt or something. But DC, you can touch all DC contacts with fields 50 to 55 volts. There's nothing. It's not dangerous. Nothing for child or for somebody. It can nothing happen. No flash. Nothing. This is dangerous if it comes over then 110, 120 volt DC, and then it's very strong. That's the reason I don't want to work with high voltage batteries. That's one of the reasons. Because high voltage batteries, they are a little bit more difficult. So here is no danger. Also not here in the battery. Here is also the 55 volt. One cell has only 3.5 or 3.6 if they are full. But you can touch everything without problems. And they also don't go hot. They're always cool. If they're running hard, then maybe a little bit like the air, but not much more.
Okay. And what type of batteries are they?
These are the LiFePO4 batteries. That means lithium iron phosphate batteries. That's the newest generation with a A-grade quality level. And they are different to the typical lithium-ion, what you know from cars or from scooters. They are also sometimes burning. You hear that?
So these are quite safe against...
They are the safest cells what I ever learned to know. There's a reason I use them.
Right.
Because I built them in houses where the families with the kids and something, I don't want something's burning. And I never had some problem. I have now this type of batteries, okay, the older versions, 5 years in my system, never a problem. Never a problem. It sometimes can happen if you overcharge a cell wrong. Maybe you use, this is 11 kilowatt and you try to use 20 kilowatt in one moment, and it stays, and the battery is not reacting, or the fuse is not reacting, because they are reacting very good, but before I had other ones, then you can damage a cell. The only what can be, they blow up a little bit. They make a bow, make here a bow here. And then can also break a little bit of wood. But that's all, they don't burn. But that's the reason you have to pressure them.
Okay.
You see the strong iron.
Yeah.
This is a really strong pressure. It's about, I think, 300 pounds by something, like the key.
Yeah.
I was reading from the producer what they advice how many pressure,
Yeah.
and this is what I use for this here.
So this is recommended for these batteries?
Yeah, this is recommended for this
Okay.
battery, all the settings.
Yeah, okay. And I've seen metal boxes that
Yeah.
have the BMS and
I know they're all fixed, they look really nice,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
they're not so nice like mine,
So
but I know
what's
them.
the benefit or what's the advantage or disadvantage of the metal boxes?
I don't know, because you cannot choose the things what you have inside. You cannot choose, okay, the cells maybe you can choose, but you cannot choose all the cabling, all the bus bars, the nuts here, and
Yeah, because on here you've put bigger.
these are special
connections.
things. They are all M8. I let them produce in a special factory. They welded, especially for me, M8. I don't want to use the M6 because this is a very small connection. I don't like this. Here goes a lot of energy through. You can take 10,000 watt of this battery, and M8 it's more strong.
Yeah.
You can also better handle. And the important thing on these boxes is the BMS. You cannot choose. You don't know what you get. And I was testing, I don't know, 4 or 5 different types, different manufacturers of BMSs. And now I found the best, I think the best what I can buy in the world, because it's compact, it's easy to handle, and it has a balancer inside.
Right.
That for other BMS you need a separate balancer. Yeah, you have to buy separate, you have to connect every cell, and this has a balancer inside, and that make all the time a good balance with 100 watt by cell, and that's a lot. That's 10% of the whole cell. One cell has 1000 a little bit watt, and 100 watt by cell, it's a good power to balancing from one to the other cell if they are not in a level.
Okay, so in a nutshell, what you're saying is that the boxes come with their own BMS in it, which you like to upgrade as
Yeah, I
you
cannot.
evolve with the systems as they get better and better.
Yeah, if you buy now one, okay, they're looking good and they are easy to handle. It's not bad, but I will do it professional. I will also growing up with things they're coming new on the market. Maybe this batteries they have a new BMS inside.
Yeah.
No, their BMSs they are maybe half year old or more, 9 months, 150 amps. Now I use a 200 amps, and I have more possibilities. Here also I use a new fuse. That's a 200 fuse. This is 150 amps. So I can always go with the time. If I buy a box, I don't know how old. I don't know how old the whole system, the electronic. You can do that. It's easy, but I prefer
I guess
proper one.
you could buy a box that's cheaper.
Yeah.
And it could be 2 years old.
Yeah, you don't know. You never know.
Yeah. Okay.
And if something is wrong, who you want to ask?
Yeah.
If here something is wrong, my customer can ask me all the time,
Yeah.
and I can help.
Yeah. Good. Looking good.
Of course, looking good and working good. Yeah. Yeah, he don't trust me. It's only working if I'm neutral.
What's protecting the batteries to the inverter?
This is this fuse here. You know, this is a DC fuse with 150 amp. It's a very fast reacting fuse. And if the hybrid try to use more than 150 amp, what is like 7,500 watt, then this fuse will melt and directly cut the connection. And then you have to change the fuse. Here's a separate fuse. I put for everybody a separate fuse. But normally it's not happen. It cannot happen because this hybrid has 11 kilowatt and these batteries together, they have 35. And you can charge them with a half, so with 17. Here's 11, here's 17 possible. He cannot go over 17.
Right.
That's not possible. Then he will stop. He has a fuse inside, this has a fuse, and to disconnect the hybrid from the battery, you go in the app and disconnect the battery. This is like a breaker.
Right.
That's enough. Nobody need more.
So all good.
All good.
Yeah. Good. There we go. And they're protected.
If
There's some spare ones there.
if a battery is melting, then you know something you make wrong.
Yeah.
Very wrong.
Okay.
And here's the same, 8 kilowatt, and the battery has 17.5. Half is about 9 kilowatt. He can only use 8, so this has 9, so it's not a problem. It's inside the tolerance.
Just in case I switch on water heater, washing machine, dishwasher, and 2 or 3 more large consumers, what will happen then?
Well, you go over the 11 kilowatt and he will stop and make a failure. He has a fuse inside.
Yeah.
That's the reason I don't use fuses here anymore. This was with the old machines, because there has not a fuse inside. But he make then a failure, all will be red here and blinking and will tell you something is wrong. Then you have to switch off your machines, switch off this, switch it on again, and all good.
Resets.
Reset, it's like a reset.
Yeah.
No, it's off and on. Yeah.
Yeah.
So the inverter as such is the old-fashioned switch, but he's more intelligent. He will switch off when he wants, or when there's too much demand, and
No, you don't need more. That's it. Yeah. He can use a little bit more, maybe 11.5, but then stops. And shortly he can get also 20 for a big pump or a machine what needs high energy in the moment, but it's only a peak. This is, I think, 3, 4, 5 seconds.
Yeah.
This is okay. Also for the batteries, they can also do it, and this will not react in this short time.
Yeah.
But if you hold it longer, then break.
And I guess also another key thing with solar is that you actually, what's the word I'm trying to say? You actually watch what you're using, so you're aware of the power, so you're not going to have everything running at the same time. Which is pretty much in a house with mains electric as well, isn't it? Because you can.
it's actually very much the same. In a house, if you put in the kitchen too much on, the switch goes off. So you go there, you take the big consumers off, put the switch on, and if this inverter is doing it on its own, it's very simple and straightforward.
Yeah.
And you've done it once or twice, and you learn not to put 5 or 6 big consumers on. So I think it's very self-explaining.
Yeah, with solar you have to be a little bit careful what you use.
Yeah.
You are more responsible for your using.
Yeah.
Because not too much. Also in the night, the battery is down in winter. Then you can see, okay, we have to save a little bit of energy for the next morning. Nobody knows the sun comes again. She will come, but maybe behind the clouds.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Looking very good, Wolf. Very impressive. All I've got to do is just touch up your fingerprints.
Yeah, sorry, this is working.
So I've got one more question that everybody probably is dying to know. How much?
Yeah, this is always depend on what you need. If you something big need, then it's more expensive, of course. But a normal system for a family, for a small family, is about one battery with 17.5 kilowatt, one hybrid with 8 kilowatt, 18 panels, that is like 9 kilowatt in solar, the aluminium installation, fuses and all this, delivery, about 9.5.
Okay.
Yeah, like that.
Not bad.
On the roof, a little bit more expensive. On the floor, it's much better.
Yeah.
On the roof, can come a little bit on top.
Okay, good. So about 9,500, which I think is quite reasonable, to be fair.
No, it's not. It's under 10. I think it's good.
Yeah, and that's a big system.
Yeah.
17.5 kilowatts.
A system where you can
huge.
live with.
Yeah.
For a family, for one house, it's normally good working.
Yeah.
If you be a bit careful in the winter time, it's a good system.
Yeah. Good. Excellent. Thank you, Wolf.
Welcome. Next time your system.
Yes, I'm going to get it. I'm going to get it. So, why did you want solar?
Actually, for me, it's a no-brainer, because on my other plot I have a similar system also installed by Wolf 3 years ago. So running for 3 years, smooth like a charm, and it has ticked all my boxes 3 years ago, and it has now proved that it's running absolutely stable, more stable than the grid, where whenever there's a storm this is off a few hours, especially with the big blackout we had recently where there was a full day no electricity. I was well off. I couldn't care less.
Didn't even know about it.
Yes. And it's also a feeling of being independent, of have the feel that you live a little bit with the nature. You use the sun, which is for free, and you start to waste electricity. Once you have so much, I have the AC running the full day. I plug my hybrid in the evening. So it very much fits into my profile, how I would like to live.
Yeah.
And within these 3 years, there was no problem. Once or twice, I fell into the trap to connect one or two much consumers, but easy as peasy, you just switch it on again. So my batteries still show no sign of misuse or of losing capacity. It is a solid, simple running system.
Yeah.
So now after 3 years, it was for me absolute decision, get rid of the grid, be independent, and especially here with 3 units, that every unit has its own supply. It's I think it's where we should go in Portugal. Use what we have here for free, the sun.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we've only got one more thing to do.
Yes, I would like to.
Let's go.
Let's go switch
After
it.
you.
Yes!
Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Just one question. Would you recommend it? Oh, obviously you just said all that, so the
I
answer is-
recommended it myself to
Yeah.
myself.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Good. That's that over and done with. Now on to the next thing, which will be underfloor heating.